What's up, guys? This is B-Drum1, and this is how to do a basic rock beat on the drums. So here's just what it sounds like, so you get an idea of what you will be working towards. And pretty much all beats stem off from that. You can use this beat to make thousands of other beats, and it can just easily transition to slightly more complicated ones, like where you're just adding a snare or a bass on one of the eighth notes on the hi-hat, or it can get to even more complicated things, but that's not something for this video. So the first thing you're going to need to know is that it's 4/4, and in every measure you're going to be hitting the hi-hat, which is the two cymbals stacked on top of each other, 8 times within every measure. So you just want to do it at an easy speed for you, so it'll start off just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and it's important that you count those because it's imperative that you can keep track of the numbers for the snare, hi-hat, and bass, because those are the only 3 things you're going to be hitting today. So what you want to do, your hi-hat has a pedal. You want to be you want your foot down to be on the your foot to be down on that, so that it sounds like that and not, because you want a tight feeling, because it's just a basic beat. Next up, the bass drum. That's what it sounds like. You just need to be able to hit it so that it hits on the 1 note and 3 note. So just doing that, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and it's pretty basic. Then the last thing is the snare. You hit that on the 2 and 4. It's called the back beats. So it'll be like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's pretty basic. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to want to put the snare and the bass together. Also, if you're right-handed, you want to be hitting the snare with your left hand, because you're going to be hitting the hi-hat more often, so you want your stronger hand to be doing that. So just putting the bass and the snare together, not worrying about the hi-hat for now. We're just going to do the basic beat. So remember, you don't need to be using your right hand right now unless you're a lefty. So I'm just going to keep my hand over here so that you remember you're supposed to be using your left hand hitting the center of the snare drum. So let's go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that was pretty basic. Now what you're going to want to do is just the snare and the hi-hat together, so that you're able to use both hands at the same time. You aren't going to worry about the bass right now. We'll add that in a second. So you're just going to want to do 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then on the snare you're going to be hitting on the 2 and 4. So it'll sound like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. So now that you're able to do those two together, you can practice those a couple times. Next up, you're going to want to do the snare and the bass and the hi-hat together at the same time, and you won't be using your left hand, so just keep that aside for now. And let's get to it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So remember that you will never be hitting all 3 of these at the exact same time for just the basic beat. So now we're going to be putting all of these together. Alright? And also one thing to remember is whenever you're hitting the snare or the bass, you're always going to be hitting it at the same time as a hi-hat beat, because the hi-hat goes on eighth notes, and these are just really just half notes. So the first thing we're going to do is just put them all together, and then we can work on speeding it up. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So that's pretty basic. You can work on speeding it up, so that sounds like this. And then you can do your own variations off of it, maybe using 16th notes. I might do a video on that later, so that sounds something like this. So that was basically just stemming off of the basic rock beat, which is all you need to start off on the drums. So hopefully this video helps you with that. It might help to practice with a metronome if you're new, so that keeps you with the beat. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you think it was helpful, share it with your friends. And yeah, just keep drumming.